Hello and welcome to the show. Today we are on Forza Horizon 4 going to be doing some racing with something mad. Yes, this is the Ford F150 Pre Runner. Now, initially the plan had been to run the two dirty design trucks together, the Ford and the Jeep. Truth is, the Jeep is quite a bit faster. The Jeep doesn't quite have the same wacky handling characteristics that the Ford does. So we're just going to race a field of these, because these are the first vehicles really in Forza games that actually act like the Super Stadium trucks. As in, we go around a corner and the front wheel dangles around in the air. Some of you will hopefully be familiar with the Super Stadium trucks because they're brilliantly wacky, crazy racing vehicles that jump around some street circuits in Australia. I think they do race on dirt tracks as well, but it's watching them go around the V8 supercar circuits that's brilliant. Either way, these are cool trucks. These are very, very cool vehicles, and I figured I'd have a go with racing them. Now, they aren't maxed out. You can put the Funko engine, I think, in them, but this has got a mere 900 horsepower going through the rear wheels. There is always a chance of falling over, and sometimes they don't quite turn how you expect them to when you get to a corner. Sometimes they turn surprisingly well when you get to a corner. You never quite know. This final turn is terrifying. The final turn here is not an easy corner to get the trucks through because the front wheel just wants to lift up. I might climb over the back of Ninetales if I'm not careful here. Thankfully we don't. If you tip it into turn 1 too hard, you will roll. You throw it into this corner too hard, as Ninetales is about to discover. Very, very good catch there from Ninetales. These will fall over. It might be one of the most rolly vehicles, and this coming from me is quite impressive. It might be one of the more rolly vehicles you will come across in Forza, but it's brilliant. They're just a very different sort of vehicle, and I like having them in the game. Come on, get through there. They've got a million gears, of course, because they're the F-150. I'm kind of surprised, though. I don't know whether a pre-runner would have a 10-speed gearbox. I feel like this wouldn't probably use the same gearbox as the F-150, but either way, it has a million gears, which is why we're running around in 6th. It is fine. It's kind of supposed to do that, I guess. We're going to be a little bit on the defensive through here. We have managed, me and Ninetales have managed to pull a bit of a gap going on. There's a huge fight over third place there. Now I'm leading the way. I've got to make sure I get this corner right. No, didn't get it right. We kind of have to take 2 bites at trying to turn it. The only good news is everybody's in the same boat, and a lot of times it takes sort of 2 goes to get turned in. Now, the trick here is to... I don't know. I think being on quite a tight line through there is good to stop the truck from falling over. If you can be on that right inside line, it's generally quite good. You can actually see the sparks coming off the rear corners as we go around these corners. Now this is the suspension from standard, I should say. Well, I have modified the truck a bit in the power department. It has slightly bigger tyres than the normal one. It's because I was building it to try and keep up with the Jeep. The actual suspension setup and all of that is as the truck comes. This is how it drives. A bit slightly slower. Oh, it's much lighter as well. I completely forgot. This is £6,000 as opposed to £8,000, so it does get turned a little bit better. But yeah, the suspension setup, the way that it drives, you don't have to do anything for that. That is just how the truck comes. It does take a little bit of getting used to, yes, but that's the challenge of this. No, come on, you bugger. Not got that right. Ninetales is still wiggling around me. I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting after Ninetales a little mistake at turn 1 to catch right back up again. Oh, carefully does it through there. Let's not get carried away with the truck. Are we going to see? We're going to see some front end wiggling. Don't do the curse of the commentator, like saying Ninetales isn't quite caught up yet, because you know that's going to happen. There's also a horrible bump. I mean, we talk about plenty going to Tarnhouse down there that can upset vehicles. Now, when we were testing this with the Jeeps had such suspension trouble. If you hit the bump, it doesn't really roll them, like rally cars and so on can get into trouble down there. But these seem to have the suspension not to do it. They roll over in different ways, but not so much down there. Got to keep an eye on that truck behind. It's not battling for position as such, but it's incredibly tense for me. One mistake, Ninetales will pass me. One little mistake is all it's going to take, or certainly will be enough to put Ninetales up alongside. So let's not do anything dumb. Take a couple of bites again at getting turned in. Ninetales is pretty neatly through there. We have pulled away from the rest of the field. Twisty's up in 3rd, but can't quite see where that truck is. Yeah, it's kind of coast your way in a little bit through the first corner. Just don't chuck the truck in too hard through there, otherwise you risk rolling. I think Ninetales threw it in and got on 2 wheels again and had to back out of it because we pulled a bit of a gap. Oh, I'm on 2 wheels. That's the closest we came to rolling. We nearly went over on the final lap. That was the bump. That bump normally rolls cars, and it just mildly shuffled mine around. That's how much suspension travel we get in this. Oh, it's also so heavy and so fast that like the walls, the railings, all of that stuff don't really slow it down. It's not really care if you clonk into them. Fifth might not have been the cleverest gear, actually, out of there. We might have wanted fourth, but never mind. We can probably now defend our way to the finish line. Ninetales threw it at that corner as well. I saw the ping off the wall. Ninetales can do nothing in the end. Actually, don't speak too soon. Let's get around the final corner. There we go. In the end, Ninetales had no answer. Very similar lap times. One mistake into turn one. One mistake into turn one got me past Ninetales, who was on the side. We then almost rolled later on. Fastest lap would go to Gliska, actually, down in 8th place. Very, very similar lap times. Funnily enough, everyone in identical trucks doing similar lap times. God, that was a nerve-wracking race. We got a victory. Very nerve-wracking. So, up next, we head to, well, the Ambleside Scramble location for a slightly different race. It's my own kind of extended version of the track. I have a lot of work to be doing in this one. Damn it, Ninetales starts in second. This might be tough. This might be tough for me to work my way through the back. We saw what the battling was like in the mid-pack. It's likely to be quite busy, shall we say. Yeah, this particular track, it uses, well, the normal Ambleside circuit, but it just kind of extends down the back part of the circuit. I actually kind of prefer this layout in some ways. I built it quite a while back, actually, for a Dakar Mini, I think, when that came out. We talked about it earlier. I do like this layout of the track, and it's hopefully going to work quite nicely for these trucks. Are we going to see, where might we see rolling? Not sure. Around this circuit. It's not quite the same crazy elevation changes. Sadly, we still have the stupid ghostly mode through the start of these. Oh, we're not ghostly, but I don't know what's going on. Okay, now we're not ghostly, that's for sure. There'll be some paint swapping with the police. You don't normally want some paint swapping with the police, it's safe to say. It's not really an ideal situation. No, there we go, someone's fallen over. We only caught the tail end of the roll. Good roll, Longbow. I think it's Longbow. What a roll. What a roll indeed. Right there, that's a bigger jump than normal around here. These things are shifting. I don't remember that jump being quite as iffy as it was before. There we go. I'm not sure that sentence was quite what I was going for, but never mind. There are many things going on. Like I have a mega run down here, but I got nowhere to go. It's a little bit narrow, but I don't think anyone had anywhere to go in all of that. I might be able to duck underneath as the trucks are changing direction. Like once the weight transfer starts going, you're in trouble. I think there may have been a missed checkpoint. Oh, yeah, by the looks of it, Ollie missed a checkpoint and shot off into turn one. We cannot. Oh, I was going to go over there. Thankfully, I kind of got it back down. I still can't pass the police car. I know I shouldn't be passing a police car, I think, but no, we're not going to find a way past. Can we get a good... I feel like I've got some speed in this, but I just cannot get the move completed. So we're going to be stuck. We might get to the inside here, but... Well, it'll be the inside for this bit, but then we've got to go the long way around here, and I don't know whether I can actually get the grip. Okay, we'll try duck underneath. Don't fall over like Longbow did. And duck underneath again there. No, not quite. We're not finding a way past. You just get stuck in traffic. Uh-oh. Okay, well, that might be a bit of a jump to the inside, and now there is space. We will clear the police car through there. A bit of an unintentional, massive jump from me, but it did the trick. It did the trick. We're up to 5th. Could we get a podium? I think a podium might be pushing my luck just a smidge. I can see the battle for the podium going on up ahead. It would be fun to be a part of it, and somebody might fall over at the end of the day. 4th wouldn't be a bad place to be if shenanigans go on up ahead. Then you'll be the one that inherits a podium if a truck tumbles over. That's a lot of wool I ate, not what I wanted to do. Oh, police car missed a checkpoint, as did Chris. I presume that's why that truck went ghostly and vanished. So there we go. Oh, cut down. So last time we had quite the large lead, but it was me and Ninetales just kind of shadowing. This time I've got to no man's land and watching the big fight going on up in front. Can I do anything about catching if they continue to trip over one another for long enough? Maybe. What's the lap? 3 out of 5. Yeah, if they really fight each other very, very hard, there might be a chance. They are also, of course, clearing the wall out of the way for me, which is something. I will probably get fastest lap of the race in this because I've been running in clean, or Twisty might now, having got away from the squabbling pair ahead. Now, get all the weight transfer right through this section. It's really easy to get carried away with the truck and just struggle to control it. Get the braking sorted for turn 1. It's a weird vehicle to drive in that these are actually very good fun to drive and very good fun to race. It'll be a terrible A-class vehicle, and you don't really want to race against anything else, but in a race for just these, they're actually very, very enjoyable to go driving with. It's kind of difficult to explain, but I do very much recommend. I would recommend racing them. They are one of the prize cars. You can't buy them from the normal game shop. You might find them on the auction house, but they are about 16 million at the moment. But they will come around again at some point, either in the Forzathon shop or something. So, yeah, they do appear. Twisty's very quick at half the lap and made, I think, maybe a little mistake. Certainly slowed down for this latter half, and we're all now catching. I'm very near to being in this group. So, someone's missing out on a podium. To be fair, if I somehow manage to get up into this, I'll be from my start, it'll be impressive. But we've only got a lap to try and find our way past on a track that isn't really all that easy to overtake on. In trucks that are very wide and very, very fast. Let's go make a little different line into turn 1 through here. Is anyone going to cut it too fine and go for a tumble? No, everyone is well behaved through there. Oh, I missed that one, I think. Yep. Oh, pushing the wheels off the car, and we just jumped wide off the checkpoint. I think that's what Chris did, actually. Oh, we're going to fall all the way down. Yeah, it's that bump. That bump there. It's what launched me wide. I had to throw everything at it. Like, I knew how difficult it was going to be to try and find a way past. I knew I had to be absolutely on it if I wanted a podium. In some ways, I mean, I'd rather a 4th than maybe a 6th, but we're always going to go for the podium at the end of the day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get past here. It took us long enough to get past the police car. We saw how that one went last time. I mean, there's taking some liberties with this. I should probably re-checkpoint that area. There's taking some liberties, and then there's taking that much liberties. I'm going to go up the inside there. That's the exact move we did on the police car as well. It'll be a 6th place for me. I'd rather have taken the gamble trying to get 3rd at the end of the day. Good race. I'm glad I caught up. Oh, Ewan's run wide. Ewan got... not Ewan. Sorry, that was Chris. Got the weight transfer wrong through that section. I'll take it. I'll take a 5th. Well, could have been worse. Fastest lap would go to me. Not by a massive amount again. Pretty close lap times. The only one, the 106s around there. Yeah, I like that combination. That car, truck, thing, really. That track. Good fun. So, to finish off this video, we have come to the Mudkickers circuit. However, this is not a normal layout of the Mudkickers track. No, this is a special one that kind of weaves its way around the area. Uses a lot of different routes, a couple of very, very nasty corners. There are some big probabilities of falling over. There's some very big probabilities of falling over around here. Actually quite easy to front flip in a few places as well. So that should be interesting. By the looks of it, someone's picked the wrong vehicle. I think I spy a Jeep up there that shouldn't be in this one, but it's always the way it's easily done sometimes. We will see what we can do now. This is like a proper... This one actually was built on a stream ages ago, but it's a fun little off-road circuit, tackling as many different sort of parts of this area as I could get it to go and have it all make sense as a circuit. It is narrow in some places and a little difficult to overtake, especially in trucks like this. Oh god, that's a lot of vehicles fitting into the tunnel. Someone was always going to end up in trouble along there. Some missed checkpoints around early on. Are we going to see any rolls on this first lap? No. So we're going for 4 laps. It's quite a long lap around here, about 2-minute mark actually. This is not a place to be side by side at the best of times, and it's not a place to be side by side in little cars, let alone in big trucks. Down here, very iffy. Oh, that looks like a Ninetales might have missed a checkpoint, or might have rolled actually. He might have rolled and reset. I'm not sure. We will. God, get that corner all wrong. Try and take a nice approach up here because you want to get the landing right. You don't want to be twisted in the water. It's very easy to spin the rear-wheel drive trucks, as Bliska found out. Yeah, if you get that jump a little bit wrong, you can get into a world of trouble around there. Oh, we're almost up to the podium. Not bad considering we started down at the back. We were, I think, last early on the back row or something, so we've done okay. Now, this is a very nasty corner we have coming up here. You've got to really watch out. Uh-oh, Longbow! I'm sorry, I might have landed on your truck. Alright, Longbow was going for a different approach there. I'm not sure what's faster technically, but it's definitely faster to not land on your opponents, the opposition. Twisty fell over on the landing. I think that section there, if you get on the brakes, I would presume that's what does it with this. You could do it with the other vehicles we've driven around here as well. If you get the jump kind of wrong and get on the brakes, the combination of the vehicles try to slow down and the landing zone can sometimes send them into a front flip, and by the looks of where Twisty ended up, it would suggest probably a front flip. We're trying to get alongside Longbow here to not let Danger Man run away with a lead. We might get... Oh, the problem is we'll get the... No, get down, our truck. We'll get the pass done initially, but then it's always going to be around the outside of the next fast corner, and that's always when you're going to have a problem with it. Don't miss the checkpoint. It's the most important thing. Don't worry necessarily about out-and-out corner speed, but you've really got to make sure you don't miss these checkpoints. And that will cost you a lot more time than a little bit of an iffy line through a turn. They're side by side for the lead. Now, we know that this won't work in the tunnel. We know you're not going to fit too wide into the tunnel. You'll have to get the pass done before there if you were to make it work ever. Leather Cap's missed another. It's not going well for there in this one. Don't clobber. There's a bit around here that will flip you over if you're not careful. We're going to run a little too high up on the banking. Danger Man almost went. Glisker almost went. I'm on the... Oh! That's a little... I carried so much momentum. We almost launched Glisker into the wall. Unintentionally. I didn't realise we were going to be carrying as much momentum. You know what I said about it's silly going too wide down here? Guess what? We're doing it again. Don't clip that banking and fall over. But it's worked. A bit of bravery has got us too wide and has got a pass completed. Now, don't beans up the jump here. Don't make a mistake. Don't go nose first either, necessarily. It's not spun. We've all kind of got about the same sort of speed over there. It's now 4 trucks for the lead here. Now we're going to defend that inside line. Longbow is all behind us. I'm in the wrong gear. I should have gone down to 3rd. What was I thinking? I was thinking it has 900 torque. It might get away with it. Now, this is the tricky part. Where do you brake? How do you slow the trucks down? Make sure you get it right. We are all through there cleanly this time around. Oh, Danger Man's pinged the pipe and got us all stuck. No one has any traction. Longbow might actually make the most of that opportunity. Well, we were cleanly through that section. These are so big that if something goes wrong, it tends to affect the vehicles. They're so big at some of the places, the narrow places on this track, that it's going to affect all the vehicles directly behind you. And when we are as close as this, that can be, well, 4 of us, pretty much. Longbow lost the 3rd place again. Might even be a 5th car. Twisty might even be going to join us again after that roll. Right, so we are not going to be on the outside this time around. We actually do get the checkpoint. Oh, we got a little bit of a wobble going on through there. Can I make it around the outside at turn 1? That's not going to happen. Surely that's not going to work. But it might work for the cutback if we can get it slowed for the hairpin. We are going to run wide, and I'm fully expecting there to be a truck up the inside. Of course, there will be. We'll take out the tyres. It's a little bit more of a free-form track, this one, at the end of the day. Certainly in places like this, for example. Don't want to be in the water, although not that this truck is going to be that affected by it. We're going to make that one work. I think that'll be us to the lead. I think Glisker will have followed me through there once the door was open. Someone's always going to take the chance there. Right. We now lead on lap 3, which means no funny business and no falling over from our truck, if we can manage. I know it's a tall order, very tall order for me, especially in a truck prone to rolling. Glisker's gone. I think Glisker might possibly have fallen over through that opening section, because it was looking like, well, Glisker was up to 2nd. Oh, was looking like I might have to defend for the rest of the race, but gravity getting the better of the truck. Who would have thought? Who would have thought in a FailRace video rolling trucks would be a thing to have to contend with? I think the only surprising thing is it's not really been me, other than one... no, don't say that. I know that is the prime curse of the commentator. I know that is prime curse of the commentator. Unless you say it, if you say it enough times, then you counteract the curse. I think that's how it works. But there we go. Oh, I've gone a bit too fast. No, actually, that's about spot on. So we went fast enough to clear the jump nicely without having to do any silly business. We didn't do a front flip on the landing. Get around this very tight section. Try and get some power down. The diff isn't great in this draw. It feels weird to drive. I don't know. Again, this is a hard thing to explain. It feels like this kind of a very open diff going on at the back. It feels like it's not really wheel spin, but it feels like a lot of power is sometimes being wasted trying desperately to... I mean, there's 900 horsepower in this. And it does at times feel like it's not really all being used properly. But there we go. There are a few vehicles out. That's the accidentally selected cheat. A few vehicles that have given up around this one. It's, yeah, if you fall too far back, it can be a daunting task. This circuit. I've gone quite deep on the way in. I'm hoping to get a decent exit. Oh no, that's not where the checkpoint is. I did get it. I thought I'd cut to the inside of that one. Oh, I'm an idiot. I thought I'd gone to... Unless me backing up actually got it, I thought I'd turned it. I've got a slightly different line through there. I thought that'd be great. We'll carry all the speed. And I think I actually went too far to the inside. I'm now doubting myself. And I've cost myself a lead. Whether I missed it and had to back up and get it, or whether I had got it and just thought I hadn't got it. I figured, like, backing up cost me less time than if I had missed it and had to be reset and everything, because you've got to go through the infinite loading screens. But we're going to have an absolutely storming second half of the lap. Now, this is going to be a all or nothing second half to the lap. I have to hope that Danger Man falls over or makes a mistake. That's all we can do now. There might be a spin in the water up here. We're just going to pin the throttle and hope for the best. Danger Man is out of the water quite nicely. That is probably the best I've taken that jump in a very long time, and we are absolutely flying along here. Come on truck. We can maybe make something happen. Maybe make something happen. It is a very, very big ask, but can we do it? Danger Man was a little shonky across there, as was I, unfortunately. We pinged the checkpoint, climbed the hill. There's only a couple more corners to go here. Oh, we have closed immensely. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think there's going to be enough time. We've straight-lined that one. Oh, come on. Get that power down. It's going to have to be a mega, absolutely mega final couple of corners from me here. I've got to drive this one perfect. Oh, can't get all the power. Of course, we're in identical trucks. It's all the same equipment. Can I be very... It's going to have to be mega brave through here. Oh, into the inside. It's not going to be enough. We're going to miss out by tenths. Tenths. Tenths of a second in it. I balls that one up. I balls that one up and then threw absolutely everything at it. That final half of the lap was probably the fastest I've ever got around that circuit. Unfortunately, not quite enough. What a disappointment. What a disappointment. Oh well, it happens. It happens. It was a great disappointment, followed by an excellent sort of recovery drive, shall we say. So, I will take that in some way or another. There we go. That's the F150 Pre Runner. A very, very interesting truck. Drives very differently to just about everything. It's nice to have one of these trucks that kind of handle a bit like the Stadium Super Trucks. You know, they have the wheels at wonky angles and doing conky things, and it's different. You know, it's not easy to drive. I would perhaps recommend taking the weight out of it. Makes it a bit more fun. But they are very good fun. Racing them against each other, it's very good. Probably won't be a very good A-class car, general A-class. You might get it working, but for a one-make race, they are very, very good fun indeed. Anyway, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.